my name is Febiven. I played mid lane for H2K and I would like to talk about Zed. So I think Zed is like a really situational pick right now in the meta. I think it's still really good in solo queue because you have so much outplay potential on your opponent, but in competitive play it's a really situational pick and you can mostly only pick it when the enemies have like no tank, because Zed is just not good against a lot of CC, so you would mostly pick it against like squishy champs and like range support that only really can exhaust you when you go in. It requires a lot of skill to play Zed properly and actually get good flanks in teamfights with it. A successful Zed in the early game should play really safe. First 2 levels you can only farm with Q, and then when you get like level 3, level 4, level 5 you can start trading with WEQ, which means you are vulnerable to ganks, but you're mostly always pushed in, so you just farm it out until you get level 6, you get your first base, and then you can try to all in after this. In the mid game, you should mostly play Zed on the side lane, like you want to play Zed in a 1-3-1 composition, so you can pressure the side and look for outplays on your opponent, and also look for flanks and just roaming and trying to catch people in the jungle, because you can really surprise people with Zed when you hide on bush and just try to kill people. Most people don't expect it, and if you come from an angle that people don't see you, then it's really hard for them to exhaust you. I think in the late game it's kind of the same. You just want to look for those flanks, you want to look for those assassinations on the squishies. Always try to keep track of enemy summoners, because it's really important if you know that enemy has flash and exhaust, or like flash heal, because you can get really, I guess, outplayed by exhaust if you don't have cleanse. So you mostly want to look to get a cleanse Q assassin in your build, and maybe even run cleanse like a summoner spell. I think the core items on Zed are Yumus. First, if you're playing against like heavy AP like Syndra Elise, you probably have to buy H2Drinker. You can even buy Edge of the Night first, but I really like H2Drinker because it just gives this shield. Then you should go for either Black Cleaver or Draktar, that gives a lot of lethality and is really good against squishies. But if enemy have like some beefy champions, you should buy Black Cleaver and Last Whisper. But if they are like full squishy, you don't even need to buy Last Whisper, but most of the time the enemy has one tank and you kind of want to shred them with your AoE spells. I think there is some combos you mostly want to just look to walk up, press your W, try to slow them first and shoot your Q afterwards, because it's pretty easy to hit the Q if the people are actually slowed, but if you wait and they're not slowed anymore, then it's too late, so they can dodge it easily. You can really outplay people like with your ultimate. You ult one guy and then you W to one side, and then you can get a triple shuriken, which gives so much damage also with Thunderbolt proc, and it's just really a lot of burst if the enemy doesn't have exhaust, and you can get a free kill basically if they don't have armor. How to survive with Zed in lane is just, you need to play really smart the first levels so that you don't get too behind. You're gonna get behind, but you just need to reduce it. You can always farm safely in your turret. Most of the matchups you can only win like after level 7, level 6. You can try to get a gank or you can try to outplay 1v1, but besides that, it's really tough to get a lead before 6. You can though, like if the enemy is kind of low and you poke them a bit, you can try to all in like WEQ, and then you can auto attack, ignite, flash E, flash Q, flash auto, and I've gotten some kills that way. I don't think this champion needs a nerf, like he got nerfed so much already. I just think it's really annoying to play against myself actually, because it has so many dashes and it just has so much outplay potential that you need to think a lot about the champ and at the same time play your own champ. So you just have to be really aware of what you can do, because the champion is kind of difficult, and if you play against a really good Zed player, it might be tough to outplay him because he's just outplaying you. So you kind of always want to have like a dash when you're playing against Zed. I know it's not like every champ has not a dash, but you preferably want to have some mobility so you can get away or just flash, and I just think that exhaust really counters Zed. So if you ever play against Zed, make sure to pick exhaust and don't give him kills, because he just gets really outscaled in teamfights. He doesn't really get that strong if he doesn't get kills, unless you have like really squishy people that he can kill. But if you just farm it up and you have a good team comp, I don't think Zed can do much. And yeah, that's it.